So I'm Dr. Lori Sulpizio,
And Dr. Lynn Levis.
and we are the creators of Moms Rising and the Shift Transformational Mindset Program.
So welcome to our Moms Rising Mentor Moments.
This gives us a chance to take your questions and sort of offer kind of thoughtful answers that we hope will be helpful, hopefully give you some perspectives. So here's our question. We have a question from Anne. Okay, Anne. Hi, Lori and Lynn. I'm a 41-year-old working mom with 2 kids, ages 7 and 10. I work full time, I'm active in their school life, and I'm trying to be a good partner and keep the house from falling apart. But here's what I'm struggling with. I constantly feel like I'm failing at all of it. I get through my workday feeling behind. I come home and I'm short with my kids, even though I miss them. I'm resentful towards my husband for not reading my mind. And when I do finally sit down at 9 p.m., I just scroll my phone and feel guilty about everything I didn't get done. So here's my question. How do I stop feeling like I'm always behind and never doing enough at work, at home, and for myself? And specifically, what does realistic self-care actually look like for someone like me? And how do I set boundaries with my time when I barely know what I need anymore? Yes, very real. I want to feel more in control, more centered, and more like myself again. Can you help? Anne, a tired but trying mom. Whew.
Can we say first? Relatable.
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 Yes. Yep.
Who, I don't know any mom that could hear that and say, I don't know what she's like, what's with her? I've got it all figured out. Because literally we all feel like some part of that some of the time.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh, 100%.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. And so what struck me is this idea, as she said, how do I stop feeling like I'm always behind and never doing enough? She specifically said, I constantly feel like I'm failing at all of it. So I would probably start there, right? What do you think?
I mean, failing says who?
Right.
Failing
Yeah.
according to who?
Yeah.
According to what standards? Like, there's a whole chat we can have about systems,
Yeah.
particularly the systems in this country that really aren't designed, certainly not designed to support working moms, but even families in some ways, right? And so failing as compared to whose standards? I just think there's a way to be able to honestly assess where you are as a mom, as a family, and with your children, and say, like, are we doing good enough for ourselves?
Right.
Like, are we meeting our own standards? Then that's really all we need to do.
Yeah. Well, and I think the idea of standards is huge because social standards, the standards we see on TV and on movies, we're supposed to, be fit and look beautiful all the way through the day and then come home and somehow get a gourmet meal ready and then pour our spouse a glass of wine and kiss our perfect little kids, while they're sitting nicely at the table. That shit does not happen, right? It doesn't happen.
No.
Right.
No.
So I think part of it is there's 2 pieces that I'm connecting to our Moms Rising program, which is the idea of reframe. So like reframing what it even means to succeed and to fail as moms. I think we have to do that because the message we're giving is shit and doesn't work for us.
No.
And then this idea of a mindset shift, right? Shifting the mindset, which allows a reframe on what it means to be successful and how I can change the way I'm thinking about my evening, what's happening, how I'm showing up, how I'm not, the things I'm doing, the things I'm not doing, that kind of thing. So that would be the first step, I think, right? Is we've got to shift the thought that you're failing because you're not. And you are not failing.
Yeah, I think another piece that we talked about that feels important is where can that become tactical? Yes, sounds great to shift your mindset, right? But like, how day in and day out, when you feel like you're drowning, can you do it? I love the one you had said first about the taking a breath before you go in the door. That's a good one.
Yeah, so I was thinking, okay, so let's get specific. So you said, I come home, I'm short with my kids, even though I miss them. I'm resentful towards my partner for not reading my mind. So, okay, before we get to that part, I'd say you're on your way home from work, you're in your car, and what can you do before you get out and come home? Some sort of a specific, explicit transition between Anne at work and Anne entering the house. So some of the things that I will do is I will literally sit in my car and take a couple deep breaths and just almost prep myself like, okay, I'm now transitioning into the home space. Like I'm anticipating what I'm going to find and just breathing out any kind of anxiety or expectation. That would be the one thing. Another thing you could do is play a song. Is there music? Is there something funny you can listen to? Is there something that you can calm your nervous system and get in a lighter, more ready mood to embrace what's going to happen at home, because we've all probably walked into our households. I mean, right?
Yes.
The reality
All the
is
time.
it's a mess. Kids are tired. You're tired. So how can you make that transition a little more intentional about getting yourself focused, grounded, and centered, some specific action to get you ready to enter the home?
So just to speak about our experiences, that's me in a nutshell. Like I am the worst. You know it. When have we ever done work together that I've been on time? Like I'm forever late.
Yeah.
And so what I'm most guilty, I work from home, so I don't have the like reset in the car in the same way, but I work from home and then I work right up to the moment, usually past the moment that I need to leave to pick up my kid from school.
Right.
I'm like careening around the corner, like I'm the mom who runs up the sidewalk, like, sorry, I'm here. And I mean, let's be honest, I still do that sometimes. But I think there was a moment when I was just feeling that panic so often that I was like, I'm just like, what's one more email? Yeah. Like, I'll just leave 2 minutes early. And then you can play the song or you can sit in silence for an extra breath. Right? Sometimes I'll park a little further away from school and just like walk the couple of blocks, right?
Love that.
Get some fresh air. We're very fortunate to be in San Diego for that reason. But right, like it's about intention. I think it's about saying, I know what I'm guilty of. I know what I might be drawn to do. How can I draw some barriers around my draw to work, right? Like we're so drawn to like do all the things. What if we brought that same focus and urgency to showing up better?
And I think what you said a really important word, which is intention, right? Being intentional. And I think part of it, so there's two things that we've said so far. One, we've got to shift away from the idea that what you're doing is failing, because you're not, right? That's what the struggle is, not a fail. It's just a struggle, right? And then we need to be intentional about making that transition from work into home to picking up the kids to then prepping dinner, so that you are a little bit more physiologically grounded and just calm, right? And the breath is a huge help. I mean, that's why we talk so much about mindfulness and self-compassion. The breath is a huge way to reset. The sun, being outside in the cool air, is a huge way to reset. So don't underestimate the power of a kind of a quick and short reset to help you then kind of enter into your home space. And I think the other technical thing I would say with the spouse being resentful, I mean, don't we all wish and expect that they would know? Shouldn't they know?
Read my mind.
Read my mind.
We've been together X long.
Yes.
We're co-parents. Like,
can't you look around and see what needs to be done?
We all say it.
Oh my God. But, I come back to what Brene talks about, Brene Brown, which is clear is kind. And I think if we can be better at being clear about what we need and how we need it, then people can show up for us. So I would say, can you, over the next week or two, try to anticipate what you need and what support looks like for you, and then share it with your partner and say, hey, Wednesday I've got a big meeting. I'm going to be home a little bit late. Can you pick up the kids, help with dinner, go to the store, whatever it might be, so that there is some intentional and explicit focus on, this is what I need. This is how you can show up for me. I'm going to tell you. Then when they don't do it, it's like, I was clear. Can we have a conversation about why now it fell short, right?
Then you're able to have that conversation in a meaningful way that says, I was clear. We talked about this. Like, how can we address this? Yeah. There's like a different accountability measure versus, I thought you were going to read my mind, right. Which, I mean, I'll speak for myself. I've been there, right? We've all probably been there at some point or another to say that. But the one other just nuance I would add is that it's easy, especially when you're stressed. I know, again, speaking from my own experience, that I can want to say like, I'm doing all these things, but the chances are pretty good that your partner is doing a lot of things too that you are not necessarily seeing. So that like really open communication part feels important to be able to say like, here's me doing all these things. I mean, I've said that to my husband so many times. I'm like, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. And he's like, yeah, I hear you. And I also did this and this and this. And I'm like, oh, okay, fair. Right?
Yeah, 100%. What I would say is it's the mindset shift. Right? It's the mindset shift about not thinking you're failing. It's getting intentional and explicit about calming your body and getting yourself ready to enter that house when you come home from work. And then it's also being clear, intentional, and explicit about what you need. We didn't really touch on the phone, the doom scrolling on the phone, right? So
sometimes you can. Sometimes you have to. Like, whatever your decompression needs are, fine. But is there a way you can do it in moderation and then switch gears to something else? So it's a bad example. Probably shouldn't be doing it with my 7-year-old, but here I am getting vulnerable. I don't know why Sammy's into hamsters that are dressed up in human clothes. He's like, Mama, can we look at the baby hamsters? And so I'm laying in bed and putting him to bed. And we do like, 2 minutes, 5 minutes of hamster videos. Yeah. And he is like laughing his little behind off. And it's so cute. And it's like, fine, have some endorphins before bed. Like I think it's fine. Someone's going to tell me, someone's going to come for me in the comments and say.
No. But here's the thing. But I think what you said, which is really important, is that this makes you feel good. And I can just picture Sammy laughing, smiling, little hamsters, like, kind of silly, funny, and light. What I heard you say was you feel bad about what you've done. So I think we need to recognize if what we're doing is making us feel bad, we've got to stop it. I mean, it's sort of a mind-blowing thing, right? Yes. It's like simple, one of those simple but not easy. If what you're doing is making you feel bad, then that's where we want to intervene and disrupt it and do something different. So can you find something light and fun and sweet where you're connecting with your 7 and 10-year-old? Can you find something that makes you kind of feel good inside? And maybe, one thing that I sometimes do is a done list. Instead of all my to-dos that I didn't do, I will actually say, oh, look what I got done today. And even if it's just, everybody got their homework done on time. Sometimes if the bar is kind of low, right? It's a low bar, but it's like, no, look at all the things that we were able to do. And then we give ourselves a little bit of credit and a little bit of self-compassion. Yeah. Thank you.
Thinking of you, Anne.
Thinking of you.
You can do it.
You got this. To all the moms out there, check out the Moms Rising program in the description. We got our Shift signature program. We'll have a link there if you want to learn more. And submit the questions in the comments. You can also submit the questions with the Google Doc in the comments as well. We're here for you.
Bye.
Bye.